It's just Mount Vernon, because that's where I actually live. Hometown.
How in the fuck are you about to say? The way that we do it, it's not the way. No, don't you sweat it, you not in the way. Nothing you do could be in my day. Cash is fuck on my bed, I lay. Look at the ceiling and fade away. Stressing and checking on me for a blessing, but I can hear nothing, I'm gone for the day. Sure you can afford that, I get it. Looking like a bomb, only think I'm holding pennies. Pull out your mortgage, just spend it in a minute.
Alright guys, so on episode number 2, if you guys didn't check out the previous episode where I pulled the motor and tranny and all that good stuff, be sure to check that out. I'm editing that right now, so that video will obviously be up before this one. I'm probably going to do these videos like bi-weekly, I would assume, just because of how long stuff's going to take. But this episode we are going to be focusing on, let me turn you around, cleaning this engine bay, which obviously is filthy. So I just want to give you guys a few little looks at the engine bay. Plus I'll throw in some B-roll or whatever, but basically just going to be taking off a few more things and cleaning the entire engine bay this week sometime. I gotta turn the car around, put it out in the driveway, and hit it with the degreaser and get the pressure washing. And I'll do the rest of the cleaning with some of the other Purple Power stuff that I got. But basically we're going to just power wash and clean all the paint in the engine bay as much as I can, you know, and try to get it looking at least a little bit more presentable. It didn't look terrible before, mostly just the motor, which I'll show you guys in a second, but I just want to get the engine bay looking as best as it can right now. I'm not going to shave the bay or anything, like I said in the previous episode. That's not going to be for a few more years or whatever, so I probably want to wait to do that until I get a chance to, you know, actually paint the entire car, because I want to paint the car and the engine bay. So like I said, this week sometime, it's really raining and shitty out right now, so I'm just gonna get this all cleaned up and then focus on cleaning the motor, which we have to get the engine hoist out of storage and the engine stand, so I can put the car or the motor on the engine stand, and then that can get pressure washed and all cleaned, and try to make it look as, you know, as best as it can, without going into extreme measures like painting it or anything. But basically this episode is just going to focus on cleaning, and then the next episode will be, you know, putting clutch in and all that other stuff. I actually just got the clutch today from Rock Auto, so that's pretty sick to get that in the mail. Came pretty fast, honestly. It came in like 2 days, I think it was. But yeah, like I said, I'll throw some B-roll in of all the dirty crap on this engine and everything. Just everything I want to clean up. And then I got these new poly bushings, which are over there for the motor mounts. One of my motor mount bushings actually was broken. You can see right here the plate right here where the thing bolts, it just came separated from the rubber underneath. So that's a shitty motor mount, and they're pretty much flattened down. So the other ones are definitely a lot thicker, so it's going to put up the motor, I think, 3/4 of an inch, plus whatever the motor sagged over the years from the bad mounts or whatever. So anyways, I'm going to take some more stuff out of this engine bay, get some more of the stuff kind of cleaned up, and then we'll take the car outside and pressure wash everything, and try to get as good as we can looking. And then after that's done, I'm probably going to hand buff and hand polish and wax the inside of the bay, so that's all clean, and, you know, the paint is as good as it's gonna look, because I can still bring this paint back to life. It's not really too bad, it's just a little dirty. So alright, just a little update. Car still hasn't got done yet. I'm probably do that on Wednesday. Today is Monday, and tomorrow's supposed to be raining and thunderstorming. So today we just focused on getting the auto out of disconnected from the M20. So just a little quick update on why the car wasn't going forward. The torque converter was completely pretty much empty. It had no fluid in it, so it was pretty much just not getting any pressure, and then it pretty much just, I don't know, went out all the seals in the fucking transmission and all the weak spots where the leaks were. So still trying to track down a single mass flywheel that's the correct flywheel, because that one's about 26 pounds, and the stock M20 for the late model 325i cars are about 18 pounds. So that's the main thing when it comes to, you know, the car revving up faster and everything, and driving, you know, like it's supposed to be, since it is a 325i instead of the 325e. So I'm gonna start cleaning the motor. Gotta get all these holes filled and everything. But while I'm here, replacing both of these sensors. This one is for the car to tell, or it tells the car when the car is warmed up. So it pretty much controls how much fuel is getting dumped into the car. So what that is going to do is when your car is cold, it dumps more gas into it when it starts up, just to get until it gets warmed up, and then it cuts the fuel back to normal. So my sensor isn't working correctly, so it's making the car run rich, which it's been doing for years. It's just in a kind of goofy spot because it's right next to the manifold, and it's just really hard to get in here. And then this one is for the temperature, like how hot the car is running or whatever. Put the old valve cover on for now, just to be able to people over there fucking playing music. Put this on here just to be able to get the motor pressure washed, just so everything's all clean. Let me bring the light around here. This side is pretty filthy also. This little thing right here for the oil filter is pretty much leaking right now, so you can see how wet it is underneath of this. So this is leaking oil, so I got the new gasket for that, like I said. Then just gonna clean this side. The head's new. I'm just gonna clean it by hand. I'm not really gonna pressure wash it. I'm just gonna focus on the bottom of the block and pressure wash it, and then the rest I'll just do by hand. But I'm trying to get the motor as clean as I can. This little crossover pipe, just got that painted the other day. So it's all clean black now. So that's gonna go on. Still got some parts in the mail coming. Should be all good there. We can just get the motor cleaned as good as we can, and then I'm gonna go to my detailing little bay over there, and I'm gonna try to clean. I'm gonna focus on this side a decent amount because that's the side that gets seen most, because it has the most amount of stuff seen. So like I said, I really wanted to shave this bay and all that crap, but it's just not gonna happen right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little paint correction of the paint here, try to get it, just so I could try to get the car looking as, you know, as good as it can or whatever. Then I've got to order some of these new hoses for the heater core setup, and just more hoses in general. But I'm gonna get this motor up on the stand tomorrow. Just gotta get some bolts for it because I don't have any bolts for the stand itself. So I'm gonna get that done and put the motor on there. Then I can start cleaning it and degreasing the motor, get it all cleaned, and then we can start doing the bay. And then pretty much we're just waiting on for the 5-speed swap itself. Like I said, just the flywheel, and then that's it for like the parts. And then we can put the new motor, or the new tranny together with the motor, and get all that stuff wired up, and have a clean motor and tranny to go in the car. Like I said, just buying some new hoses, try to replace all the hoses I can so it all looks, you know, really good. And that'll be pretty much it for this episode. So let's get into it. Swear I really need to get an ND filter for this, but the motor is pressure washed off as far as I can go. There's a few spots like down there. There's some black left, but not coming off with the stuff, so I'm just gonna have to do something different down there. To do all this stuff over here by hand, like all behind the wires, pop those wire ties off, clean all that. Then we're going to be able to go ahead and do a little paint correction, just a little bit on the inside of the shock tower, just so it looks a little bit more presentable. I just didn't want to get anything by the wires or anything, start spraying that like crazy. So yeah, I used 2 different types of degreaser. I just wanted to try out the one from Walmart, which obviously isn't that great, but it's honestly not too bad, and it's foaming. But the Super Tech, I think it's only like $2 a can. So I grabbed a couple just to try it out, and it worked pretty good to get the decent amount of grease off, but the heavier caked on grease, I just went with the old gunk engine degreaser, which is, you know, my favorite pretty much. Everyone pretty much uses that. It's always been pretty good to use, so that definitely helped with the harder stuff to take off. But I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get the other stuff off by hand when I'm in there in the engine bay working actually. So, but those are the 2 things I used. I used this full can, and then full can of this, and then a little bit of this. Plus I used this on the motor mounts and stuff, but got fresh tranny. Anyways, motor's over here on the wheel, or not the wheel dolly, the stand. So it's all mounted up, and it's super filthy like I showed you guys. So I got to get all these holes plugged and everything, so I can be able to pressure wash the motor this week also. Get all this fucking shit off the block, mostly, because that's most of the dirt. Like I said, the head is pretty new, so just gonna go ahead and clean everything off. Took off the whatever you call this thing, the thermostat housing, so I can get that all cleaned up with wire brushes and all that shit. Kind of polish her up a little bit just so it looks nice. And I got the 2 sensors, like I said, for that. But that's gonna be the next thing, is doing the motor. So. Alright, so quick little update. As you can see this side, just from the video, if you could see, not sure, but definitely a lot shinier, and the colors pretty much brought back. I gotta do a couple more passes back there, and a little bit on the sidewall. But I'm not trying to make the paint look perfect. Obviously it's an engine bay and it's not shaved yet, so I'm just trying to get the paint to look a little bit better than what it does right now. So you can see from that to this over here, which is super dull and dungy. Obviously most of this is covered by all the intake and the thing for the coolant and all that good stuff, but I basically just want to try to make it look a little bit better than what it does right now. So pretty much gonna look like that. This is just the cut process. I try to use the orbital, but obviously there's no space to be using that big machine in this tiny thing. I needed like a 3-inch, but regardless, it looks a lot better than it did, so it's good enough for now. Like I said, a couple years it's gonna get shaved and all that good stuff. So just for now, I just wanted to make the paint look a little bit better than what it does, and using the Griot's Garage correcting cream for the first cutting stage, and then I'm going to use this second, which is the Griot's Garage Best of Show Wax, which I actually used on the car a couple years ago. Whole car needs to be done again, but it's gonna be getting wrapped here also. So basically that's gonna be the second step. just try to get everything looking decent, and then I'm gonna try out the new ceramic 3-in-1 from Griot's, and then that's gonna be put on top of the paint so it kind of protects it a little bit more since it's in the engine bay. And that should be pretty much it. So I'm gonna get this this done on this side and try to get it looking at least decent, and then we can go on to the next stage. Alright guys, so the last part of this episode is just going to be doing the motor. I'm not going to do a time lapse or whatever like I did for the engine bay. I'm just going to show you the motor now and then show you it after. Right now I just got some plastic on the head right now because I'm trying to keep it, like I said, I got plastic on the head right now because I'm just going to clean that by hand. Just the bottom part of the block is the dirtiest, so you can see how caked on this dirt is. It's pretty fucking terrible, honestly. So, we're just gonna go ahead and get this thing cleaned up as good as we can. Of course, right now I got a bunch of towels and everything stuffed in all the holes for the exhaust and the intake side. I got my shitty valve cover on right now. I just kind of got some plastic on there right now, some painter's tape just to hold it, and then I got to put either a strap around it or some duct tape or whatever just to try to get this plastic as tight as I can so nothing gets in the head really. Like I said, I'm going to focus on the bottom mostly and all the front, and then a little bit of the oil pan. I'm not really going to care about the oil pan too much because it's going to have to come off when I get the new gasket on, so I'm just going to pressure wash it and clean it and paint it and all that good stuff. But anyways, let's see if you can see right here. If you can see back here, the rear main seal, you see how it's all wet right here. So the rear main seal was leaking, so that was one of my leaks. So that's getting replaced, like I said, with the gaskets in the next episode. So this is just going to be cleaning this up, and I'll show you guys what it looks like after I get done with it, and then I can start doing all the gaskets in the next episode. And my flywheel is coming tomorrow, so I should be able to get the flywheel lightened next week and start, you know, putting the motor together and the tranny together, and get that dropped into the car after I figure out what I'm gonna do with the e-brake cable. Motor cleaned off real quick with my pressure washer. Got some degreaser, the same 2 cans I'm gonna be using. And then we can start putting everything back together and get this car actually on the road probably by, I wanna say mid-May, because I wanna have it done definitely before May 26th. So it's like mid-April right now, like the 18th or 15th or something, I don't know. All those quarantine days are kind of the same, but we'll go ahead and get this pushed out here in the driveway. Anyways, get the driveway all cleaned up and have everything pressure washed. So go ahead and get this done. I'll show you guys what it looks like after. Then, like I said, on the head I'm going to do by myself. This is just kind of preventative measures so water doesn't get in there and everything. And then this valve cover is going to be getting stripped, which is my original valve cover. And I'm going to strip that, all the paint off of that I painted years ago. And it's going to get repowder coated, so hopefully we can get that done pretty soon. I'm just not sure if the powder coating places are even open actually, so gonna do that. And then as far as the motor mounts, I'm gonna get these all sanded up, all scuffed up, and then put a new layer of paint on those so they look new. And like I said, I have these Condor Speed Shop engine mounts that are going on also. So go ahead and get this cleaned up real quick and get the motor looking at least nice. And then we'll be on to installing a lot of components, part 3. Plus the next episode I'm also going to do the pedals. I'm not going to take them out of the car, I'm just going to switch the pedals while it's in the car. Get the master cylinder fucking mocked up on it, get the bolts for that. I already got the clutch line, so the only thing I need is to make a hard line that goes from the slave cylinder connection for that clutch line to the master cylinder. And then I got to get a soft hose to go into my master brake cylinder or whatever. Look at this. This is about, I don't know, a good like 1/4 inch of stuff. Look at that. It's ridiculous. There's no reason for that. So all right, I'm gonna get this bitch cleaned off and get her looking good. Let's get it. I really need to get an ND filter for this, but anyways, as you can see, the motor's a lot cleaner than it was. I still got to do like some of the inside of the freeze plugs because I got tired of getting sprayed in the face with a pressure washer. So I still got to do that. And then, like I said, I'm going to do the head all by hand and all of this timing cover and all that shit like that. All this stuff in here. But for the first initial clean, it definitely took out a lot of the bad stuff that was in there and all caked up. So I'm gonna hit a couple things with the wire wheel and do all that good stuff, and then in about a few days or whatever, when this is all actually cleaned, I'll show you guys what it looks like, just so you guys get a look at what it looks like. So I'm gonna get the rest of this cleaned up, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like one more time, and then we'll be on to the next episode. All right, guys, this is gonna be the end of the episode. I'm trying to get you in here and look at the block. I got the block wire brush, and it's clean as I can get it right now. I'm not trying to go overboard with it, like I said, because eventually the motor's coming back out for ITBs, and I'll just maybe get the motor cleaned, like dipped, and taken apart and fully painted or powder coated, or you know, whatever. But that's down the line. But everything's pretty much clean. Still got to clean off a little bit of the stuff on the exhaust flange, but everything's pretty much as clean as it's gonna get. It's a lot better than it fucking ever has looked since I bought the car or owned the car. So only thing I can't really get to is this part right here, because I still got to take this off for the next episode so I can do the gasket for that and clean this piece up. I also have the piece for the thermostat and shit that goes right here, or on the other side, sorry. That goes over here, I got to clean. But this is as clean as the motor's is gonna get. Still got to wipe it down with some brake clean, but looks pretty damn solid, honestly. Wish it was daytime out, but it's already towards the end of the day, so. But regardless, the motor looks a lot better. Next episode, we're gonna be doing the gaskets, and I got my new flywheel, which is right down there, which is the correct one, which is the 18.8 pounds or whatever for the single mast for the 325i. And my one over there, I'll do like a comparison in the next video, but definitely a lot lighter than that one, because that one's like fucking 26 pounds or something like that. But just wanted to give you guys a little look at the motor for the end of this video. So you can see the head's pretty clean already. I just wire brushed as much as I could, took off that pipe, cleaned everything. Like I said, I still gotta wipe it down with the brake cleaner so I can get it, you know, looking a little bit better. But this is as clean as the motor is gonna be for now, and that's all I really wanted. I just wanted it to be a clean motor, because I wanted to, you know, not have to put a fucking greasy ass motor back in the car. This is the other valve cover that's getting powder coated a different color, so I started stripping it just so I could see if it was going to come off easy, because I painted this years and years ago. This is the original valve cover, like I said, so I'm going to take this off, get that all polished up next episode also, so I can get that sent off to powder coat, and start doing the gaskets. The gasket for this, rear main seal, taking the oil pan off, cleaning that with a wire brush all over, and getting that prepped and ready so I can most likely paint it. I might just do like a cast black or whatever. I haven't decided yet, but. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Like I said, be sure to check out the previous video where I took the motor out and everything. And like I said, next video is going to be gaskets. Starting to get some more parts for the motor. Still got to get a tune-up and shit like that, but we're still in quarantine, so we're kind of slow on work, obviously, because we started working a little bit. But so be sure to check out maybe in like a week or two for the next part of the episode, which is going to be getting into more stuff. The pedal setup, gotta do that, the wiring for that, all the motor gaskets I wanted to do, and that should be pretty much it. I might even install the motor and tranny in the next episode also. Anyways guys, follow me on Instagram for updates and all that good shit, and see you guys in the next one.